Today we're doing Lesson 6 problem set, and it is all about interpreting the unknown in division using the array model. So if you remember from our past couple lessons, we have either been interpreting the unknown as the size of the group or as the number of groups. So this time we're going to have to figure out whether the unknown is the size of the group or the number of groups. It's not going to tell us, and we're going to have both ways this time. So we're going to have to use our pictures to help us. All right, so number 1 says Rick puts 15 tennis balls into cans. Each can holds 3 balls. Circle groups of 3 to show the balls in each can. Okay, so that's really important. We need to circle groups of 3. Not 3 groups, groups of 3, which means I have 3 in each group. So I'm going to start circling groups of 3. And your groups don't have to look exactly like mine. You just have to have 3 in each group. Okay. So now let's start filling in some blanks. Rick needs blank cans. So if each can holds 3 balls, how many cans did we end up needing? Well, let's count our groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Rick needs 5 cans. Okay, let's fill out our multiplication sentence. Our unknown is the number that we didn't know. Well, we knew 15, we knew 3, we didn't know 5. So 5 times 3 equals 15. And our unknown, 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Now, if you notice, our division sentence is just our multiplication sentence backwards. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 15, 3, 5. 15, 3, 5. All right, let's look at number 2. Rick uses 15 tennis balls to make 5 equal groups. Draw to show how many tennis balls are in each group. This time we have to draw our picture. I know I'm going to need 15 tennis balls, and I need 5 equal groups. So what should we draw first, our tennis balls or our groups? Let's draw our groups first. I know I need 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put 1 tennis ball in each group until I get to 15. And to do this, I'm going to make my pen a little bit bigger. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So, we just put 15 tennis balls into 5 equal groups. Let's fill in our blanks. I'm going to change my pen size back down. Alright, so there are blank tennis balls in each group. Well, if I look at each one of the groups, they all have how many tennis balls? 3. So that means that 5 times blank equals 15. 5 times 3. 5 groups times 3 in each group equals 15. And then if I reverse that, 15 divided by 5 equals 3. 15 total divided by 5 equal groups equals 3 in each group. Notice, well, let me hold that thought. Let's see what number 3 has in store for us before we talk about that. Number 3 says to use an array model to solve problem number 1. So letter A is going to take us back to the first part of problem 1. And then letter B is going to show us the problem number 2. Alright, so for problem A, we have blank times 3 equals 15. Let's look at problem number 1. We had blank times 3 equals 15. What did we fill in that blank? 5. 5 times 3 equals 15. I can count by 3's 5 times and get to 15, or I can count by 5's 3 times and get to 15. Then, 15 divided by 3 equals blank. Well, if 5 times 3 equals 15, then 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Remember how we talked about them being forwards and backwards? The number in the blank represents blank. So number 5, when we were doing problem number 1, was number 5 our groups or our number in each group? Well, 5 was our number of groups. So, if 5 is our number of groups, when we draw our array, should it be the number of rows or the number in each row? It should be the number of rows. So let's write rows on the line. We'll write rows and we'll write groups. In letter B, let's fill in the blank. 5 times blank equals 15. Well, from problem A, I knew that 5 times 3 was 15. So what am I going to put in that blank? 3. And then 15 divided by 5 equals blank. Well, all I have to do is look right here. We just did that problem. 3 goes in that blank too. So if I'm thinking of an array, if 5 is my number of rows, then that means 3 must be the size. And whether I'm talking about an array or equal groups, the word size means the same thing. Let's make our pen tool a little bit bigger and draw that array. I need 5 rows with 3 in each row. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there's my array. Alright, I'm moving on to problem number 4. For these problems, we're going to fill in all the blanks and then figure out the meaning of the unknown factor and quotient. Did you know that a number could be a factor and a quotient? We'll talk about that in a minute. Problem number 4 says, Dina makes 21 jars of tomato sauce. She puts 7 jars in each box to sell at the market. How many boxes does Dina need? Let's draw a picture. So if I'm doing jars of tomato sauce in a box, would it make more sense to draw an array or groups? Probably groups, but if you want to draw an array, you totally can. Alright, I'm going to draw equal groups here. So I know that I have 21 jars, and I know that there's 7 jars in each box. But I don't know how many boxes to draw. So I'm going to make groups of 7 until I get to 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a group. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's a group. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's a group. It helps if I make my groups in the same shape, because then I don't have to count each dot every time, and I know whenever I got to the amount I was looking for. So, how many boxes did I end up needing for my tomato sauce? Well, I ended up drawing 1, 2, 3 groups, so my answer is 3. That means 21 jars divided by 7 jars in each box equals 3 boxes. To flip-flop that, blank times 7 equals 21. Well, if I look at my problem backwards, 21, 7, blank, 21, 7, blank. What's going to go in that missing blank? 3. So that's how the number 3 is a factor and a quotient. A quotient, if you remember, is the answer to a division problem, and a factor is one of the numbers in a multiplication problem. So, what is the meaning of the unknown factor and quotient? Well, what was 3? Was it our number of groups or was it our size? Correct. It was our groups. So I'm going to write groups on the line. Moving on to number 5. The teacher gives the equation 4 times blank equals 12. Charlie finds the answer by writing and solving 12 divided by 4 equals blank. Explain why Charlie's method works. Well, let's think about multiplication and division. What are multiplication and division? If you remember from our lesson, multiplication and division are inverse operations. So that means what one does, the other one undoes. So they're kind of like a fact family. If I want to do multiplication, I can also do division with the same numbers. Whenever I'm doing division, I have my total divided by a factor, and that gives me another factor. So let's draw a picture to show how this works. 4 times blank equals 12. Well, I know that I have 4 groups, but I don't know how many go in each group. How could I figure that out? Well, that's where division comes into play. If I have 12 total, and I know that I have 4 groups, I can figure out how many to put in each group. Let's draw a picture. I know that I have 4 groups, and I know that I need to put 1 in each group until I get to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, so how many did I have in each group? 3. So that means 4 times 3 equals 12. This method works because finding the answer to a division problem is the same thing as finding an unknown factor. Let's write that down. Charlie's method works because finding the quotient is the same as finding an unknown factor. If you need to make your words more visible, that's what those blue arrows are for on the side of your text box. The green check mark will make your keyboard go away. Don't forget to tap on your words 3 times to lock them in place. If you need to, you can pause the video to keep typing, and I'm going to move on to problem number 6. Hit play whenever you're ready to move on with me. Problem number 6. The blanks in problem 5 represent the size of the groups. Draw an array to represent the equation. Okay, so we know that the number of groups is the same thing as the number of rows. So looking at the problem, if I have 4 groups, how many rows do I need? 4. And then how many are in each row? Well, there's 3 in each group, so there should be 3 in each row. So I need an array that is 4 rows of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 equals 12. That's all for today's lesson. Don't forget to hit save, and I will catch you next time.